What is the worst physical sensation that is entirely painless? When seaweed grazes your feet or legs in the ocean. Guess I'm dying now. I don't even have any fears in relation to it. It's just one of the grossest, most disturbing feelings. Anything slimy really. Wet food that touches your hand when washing dishes. Fun fact, when I was 10 I thought seaweed had brushed my leg. Turns out it was a man of war jellyfish. I died. RIP in peace. Trying to put on clean clothes after a shower in a hot and humid room. Then, once you're dressed, your bowels suddenly alert you to their displeasure with your most recent meal choice. Bring on the after shower poop in a glorified sauna. Thighs sticking to the seat. The worst. His thighs are sweaty, room stinks, farts are heavy. It's a sauna in the place already, mom spaghetti. He's nervous, and on the surface the smell is deadly. The opposite is also true. Trying to undress after a hard workout and the wet clothes are sticking to you, and you're just stuck. Awful. What about having to put a wet swimsuit back on? Stop. Randomly crunching down on a couple of grains of sand. Ugh, I can't truly enjoy a cup of clam chowder because of this. Any spoonful could be the one. Me, I had a crab cake. My mom, were there shells? It's like she can't believe a crab cake could not have shells. Or a small shard of eggshell. Meal over. When you think there is one more step, then you Hulk stomp the ground. I've never fully understood why the foot goes down with such force. Your brain is 100% sure there is one more step when there isn't one, so when you shift all your weight to your other foot to step down, you end up trying to Hulk stomp a crater into the ground. Or when you're sleeping and think you're falling, but wake up and realize you're not. That's called a myoclonic jerk. INB4 you're a myoclonic jerk. Your mama is a myoclonic jerk. Stepping on a wet floor while wearing socks. Taking off wet socks on the other hand is an amazing feeling. It's like an orgasm, but for your feet. Bed spins after drinking too much. Walking through an unseen spider web. That feeling you get when you suddenly realize that you left your purse/wallet/phone in a public establishment over an hour ago. Hang a leg off the side of the bed. It helps with the spins. Found the monster under the bed. Also don't sleep under covers. That helps too. And leave the closet open a bit. I used to drink, and to be honest, I kind of liked the spins. I had an iron gut though, and never really got nausea. One of my favorite things was listening to music loudly with in-ear headphones and just enjoying the spins. Go away. Nausea. I'd rather be in pain than nauseous. Can't believe this isn't the first answer. Terrible nausea wrecks your brain. But oddly, when you're not having nausea, it is hard to recall how awful it was. Yeah, sickness seems so overblown until you're sick. Even something as simple as a cold. I get sick, and I'm like, why the duck do I ever complain about anything in my life when I'm not sick? This is horrible. I would do anything to not be sick. Then I get better and completely forget about how much it sucks to be sick. I sometimes find myself secretly wishing to get sick, so I have an excuse to take a few days off. Then I get sick, and it's the worst ducking thing ever. Then I get better. Repeat. I've had sleep paralysis a couple of times and it's pretty horrible. You try with every ounce of strength to move and roll over, but you just can't. I can only imagine that this could be something along the lines of what a paraplegic must feel every single day. I've pretty much mastered getting sleep paralysis, which is a terrible thing to master cause I ducking hate it. I don't seem to have a flight response, and so whenever I have sleep paralysis episodes exes have said I look like I'm seizing. I apparently start grunting, and my whole body tenses up and twitches while I let out a barely audible growly sound that turns into a yell as I get control of myself. Alpha as duck. Hiccups lasting more than an hour. Just ducking shoot me already. At that point I just hold my breath for as long as I can. Either you die, or I do, mother duckers. One time I fell asleep with the hiccups somehow. Woke up. First thought, hey, no hiccups. Then they started up again. I swear, they paused and waited for me to wake up, so I'd continue to suffer. Anxiety. It doesn't hurt at all, but it's unbearable. Depends what kind of anxiety. My anxiety makes my chest hurt to the point I think I'm having a heart attack. I'm sorry you're going through it too though. Anxiety ducking sucks. Especially when you know you're headed for a panic attack, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. It's like going off a cliff. When you really need to sneeze but can't. Getting interrupted while building up to a sneeze is infuriating. My best friend and I interrupt each other's on purpose. I'll see her make an about to sneeze face and instantly reach out and swipe my hand down her face. It catches you off guard and ruins your sneeze. She does the same to me. Also, getting fish hooked while yawning ruins your yawn. That cold shivery chill feeling, every hair standing on edge, that comes immediately before a massive surge of diarrhea. Ah yes, the juice bumps. Anus beware, you're in for a scare. When water splashed back on but when you're pooping. Your hand reaching through the disgusting cold sink water to reach the drain after it's been sitting for a couple of hours because you forgot to drain it. And there's a piece of saran wrap on there that you have to fish out because someone always leaves the wrap on old plates of food, then she throws them in the sink. Diane. And there's food inside of the drain that you have to scoop out so the water can drain. Having one of your ears unable to pop from a cold. You're deaf in one ear and it's infuriating. Imagine my pain. I'm literally deaf in one ear, and when it happens to my only good ear, it sounds like I'm living in a bubble for a while. Picking up something that turns out to be sticky, honey and jam are the worst, and you wash your hands, but you still feel sticky. Also, that mushy slippery sensation when you realize you've stepped in dog shit. Pine sap is by far the worst. Restless leg syndrome. It's a physical sensation distinct from pain that utterly compels you to move. It starts when you're tired and want to go to sleep. You can lie still for about 10 seconds before the feeling becomes unbearable and you have to move. This cycle continues until you are so exhausted you fall asleep during those 10 seconds. I've, fortunately, only experienced the sensation in response to drug use or withdrawal. I would say it is definitely painless, but agonizing nonetheless. The sensation of a limb waking up, it's like millions of tiny painless needles poking you repeatedly. You don't think that's painful? I can't stand that feeling and will literally moan and groan. I'll often wake up with a dead leg, so I do that thing where you get out of bed and hop on the good leg whilst shaking the dead leg until it wakes up again. One time I woke up, noticed a dead leg, rolled to the side of the bed to prepare to hop, and promptly fell to the floor. Both legs were dead. No idea what bizarre posture I slept in that night. Sitting on a warm toilet seat. Sitting on a warm toilet seat just after someone used it. How it feels. Especially if you live alone. Ducking. Why would you say that? Some of the Japanese toilets have seat warmers. I can't lie, it's kind of nice. Best job ever. If you get periods, the moment you stand up from a long stint of sitting, and a chunk of awful slides out of you. Blew up. This made my 1X chromosome puke. Can I just get 2 Y chromosomes please? Like passing a jellyfish. This comment made it sound that much more disturbing and accurate. Or worse, when someone is talking to you in public and you have to pretend that a nearly golf ball sized clot isn't slowly working its way out of your vajayjay and nestling warmly between your labia. Then you have to force yourself to keep listening while you wonder if it's going to leak. Sorta like when you try to surreptitiously fart while sitting down and the fart bubble gets stuck between your labia. Or when you have that noxious period gas and basically blow bubbles in your own flow. How we ever became the Pharisees is beyond me. Coughing or sneezing so hard that you push a clump of menstrual blood out. That is the most horrible feeling, especially because you're so sure that someone heard the force of it projecting out of your vajayjay. I just know that they can see my face change from relaxed to oh shut, gotta get to a bathroom to check it isn't overflowing like it feels like it is. And then the semi-casual waddle to the toilet like nothing's wrong. You guys are making me gay. The feeling of the cotton as you pull out a dry tampon. Kinda related. Cotton in general has a disgusting texture. Squishing a ball of cotton wool gives me the shivers. Or when you don't push it in all the way and you can feel it down there, ugh. Oh my god, this sensation is the absolute worst. I'd rather lose an arm than have to go through this ever again. But it happens at least once every cycle. Ugh. Nails on a chalkboard. It's the bar by which all other horrible cringe-worthy sounds are judged. Pulling styrofoam liner out of a cardboard box. Duck that. erasing with a number 2 pencil when suddenly the metal scrapes the paper, sends an awful shiver down my spine. Biting down a little too hard and accidentally dragging your teeth against each other, like nails on a chalkboard, but in your mouth. Pulling open the metal spout on a cardboard canister of Morton salt, shivers. When I broke my arm I also dislocated my wrist, so I had surgery, and on top of the plate they put on my radius they also put a long metal pin going between my radius and ulna to keep my wrist in place. Radius and ulna are the 2 bones in your forearm, if you don't know. Anyway, once it healed up I had to go in to get the pin removed. Doc just held my arm with one hand and pulled the pin out with the other. I would describe the sensation as nails on a chalkboard, but inside my arm. Like if my bone was the chalkboard and the pin was the nail scraping along it. It didn't hurt, but by god it is a sensation I never want to feel again. Having an itch on your scrotum and not being able to scratch it. T's more of a pinch and roll. Really? Pinch and roll works for vajayjh as well. Source: had a yeast infection once. Shudder. When you shave your pubes too short, the itch. The first time I cut my pubic hair was the night before I went on a long plane ride. Nobody told me it would itch. I can't believe it's not here but. Itchy asshole. Waking up with a dry mouth. You've been congested all night and mouth breathing. It dries out the inside of your mouth, which in turn dehydrates you because of the vapor being lost. It tastes gross and feels gross. That sinking feeling when you screwed something up. Seeing someone else get hit in the balls. It doesn't hurt you in any way, but somehow you can still feel their pain. When I accidentally hit the wall with the knuckles of my right hand, so I have to meander to the other side of the hall to do the same thing with the knuckles on my left hand, and then it still doesn't feel right. Picking up the huge, soggy ball of other people's hair that's been clogging the shower drain. Eating and then finding a hair in your food. And in that instant your entire life is turned backwards. You regret everything. You want to throw up, but another half is still hungry. You almost wish you'd never found the hair. But you did. And now your life is ruined. I pull it out and go on with life. Am I weird? When you feel that oh so slight graze of a stray hair touch your skin, but you cannot find it. You keep wiping, sweeping, and rubbing that area to no avail. It's maddening. Being tickled. Duck the sensation of being tickled. I'd rather take pain. Vertigo. I was in a motor accident in China over the summer. I damaged my spinal nerve and got vertigo as well. For about 4.5 weeks I had strong vertigo. It's the worst thing ever. Imagine every single movement makes the entire room spin. Even if you are laying down and only move your head 2 inches to the side, the whole room will spin. Basically it happens when one of 6 receptors isn't working properly that measures your orientation. So when even one isn't working, it contradicts all the others. So you have at least 2 different positionings that your body thinks you are in. When your body thinks it is in 2 different positions at once, your eyes and everything try to be in both as well. This makes you lose control of your vision and your eyes are spinning in circles trying to be in 2 places at once. The worst day was when the physical therapist had to test which one of the 6 receptors wasn't working normally. The way you test this is through a series of sitting up and laying down and turning from side to side really fast. It was basically an hour of making me as dizzy as possible to see where the source was.